brother Ian. Cheers!
Couple.
Welcome back, Jack. How were your holidays?
Oh, you know, beautiful one day, boring the next.
How are you?
I'm good. Fine.
Sure?
Yeah.
What do we got here?
All right, female Caucasian, early 20s. The water taxi bloke found a wedge down under here.
No ID?
No, God knows where the rest of her gear is, apart from her top. She has no purse, no shoes. Woods is having a look around, but they didn't find anything else up the top. Have to wait for the official verdict, but looks like a drowning to me. Cut in the face looks pretty fresh.
I think I know her, Jack.
What you do or you think you do?
Well, it's been a while, but it looks like her. She looks like this girl that used to go out with a very good friend of mine.
Thanks.
If the victim's who I think she is, her name's Janelle Buxton and she comes from Newcastle.
Oh, your old stomping ground.
Yeah. Only I thought she was still living there, Jack.
Well, what about this mate of yours, the one who used to go out with her?
His name's Dale Mills. He came down here about a year ago.
Oh, yeah. You good mate?
Yeah, great, mate. I mean, we went to school together, we dragged each other through high school, we even formed a band.
Oh, yeah. What do you play?
Drums, very badly.
Probably too intelligent. You know how to find this Dale Mills?
Yeah, I do.
Mick. G'day, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, Dale. Yourself?
Yeah, fine.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you. I haven't seen you for ages. What's that?
Look, I'd like to tell you that we've come to see you on a social visit, but I haven't, unfortunately. We need to talk to you.
Sure. What's going on?
This is my partner, Detective Jack Christie. Can we come inside, please?
What is this, a drug bust? Janelle's dead.
There's no ID on the body.
Nick?
No, nothing's certain. All right? When was the last time you saw Janelle Buxton?
Last night.
And where was this, Dale?
It was some club in Cockle Bay.
Mr. Mills, we'd like you to come down to the morgue and make a formal identification. All right?
Can you identify this lady, Dale?
Just having a good time last night, man. I really screwed that up.
Well, I'm here if you need me, okay, Dale? Okay?
Young bloke's ID'd her as Janelle Buxton. She came down from Newcastle yesterday for the weekend.
Family from Newcastle?
Yeah, Coast Beach.
I've rung local patrol. They're sending a car around.
Inspector, your wife's on the phone.
Take a message.
Okay.
Did divers find anything under the wharf?
No, not even a bobby pin. Dave says I'll keep looking, but don't hold your breath.
See what Mills has got to say. Oh, sorry, Jack. Almost forgot. Hey, how was the big holiday?
Oh, suspension without pay. Thrill a minute. So you were with Janelle Buxton at the club last night?
Yeah.
What time did you leave?
I don't know, about 3 or 4. I was pretty blind. The others had gone. We were just talking. Then I lost track of her. I couldn't find her anywhere, so I just jumped in a cab and went home.
The others? Who else was there?
Ian and Lisa. Well, yeah. Ian got into a fight with some guy. Got kicked out of the club about 2. Lisa would have left not long after that.
Right. And these people, where'd they live?
In Sydney, they're in Novotel. They came down from Newcastle together, though.
Oh, so Janelle wasn't staying with you?
Would have been tricky. Janelle and Ian were going out together. Just got engaged.
Hey, you think it's weird that your mate didn't say anything about Janelle and that Ian bloke?
Maybe he didn't want to believe it. I mean, poor bastard. Always said he was going to marry that one.
Why didn't he?
She wanted him to get a proper job. All he did was hang around Newcastle, playing a few bands every now and again. Never really got anywhere. So he moved down to Sydney and got a job in a guitar shop and ride somewhere.
All right. Well, she stayed home, found someone else. You must have been hurt, though, eh?
Well, you think you found yourself a motive, Jack?
No, it's obvious you really love this girl. He kept that photo in the lounge room. I mean, even after she turfed him for the other bloke. And he has a night on the piss with her and the new fiancée. Must have been torture, yeah?
Some people can cope with that, Jack.
Some people pretend to cope with it, right? You're better off pulling the pin.
She was my best friend. This is horrible.
Miss Bell, do you know if your brother came home last night?
Oh, my God, Ian.
Yeah, we'll need to speak to him too, Miss Bell.
Well, he'd been drinking a lot. He would have crashed pretty hard.
We'll still need to speak to him. Thanks.
Ian? Ian? Ian?
No. What's going on?
Hey, Mr. Bell. Hey. The body of Janelle Buxton has been positively identified. I'm sorry.
We understand that you were thrown out of the club about 2 a.m. Is that correct?
Some guy was sleazing onto Janelle and he and Ian got into a balloon.
Right, and that after you were thrown out, your fiancée remained at the club? Yeah?
Yeah, she was pissed off. Yelled at me that I was a jealous dickhead.
Where did you go after the club?
In a bar, kept drinking.
Do you remember the bar? Right, and what about you, Miss Bell? You were still at the club at this time?
Well, I wanted to go and see if Ian was okay, but Janelle wouldn't let me. She said it was between her and him, so I had a drink and we danced to bed and I left not long after. I was really tired.
What time was this, Miss Bell?
Sorry, I've no idea.
Right, so you left Janelle alone at the club?
No. She was with Dale.
You left her there? Honestly. She's dead, Lee. She's dead. She's dead. Please.
VKG Sydney Water Police to police launch Nemesis.
Police launch Nemesis, go ahead.
Just had a report of a stolen cruiser, possibly taken last night, from the Rose Bay Marina.
Please tell me it's not the Runaway One.
You picked it and won. The owner, Mr. Malcolm Sledge, wants his boat back again, and he's waiting for you both at the marina.
Copy that. Bloody Malcolm Sledge. I thought we heard the last of it.
He's going to be super narky. It's 3 times his cruise has been flogged.
Taylor, we're going to take a sweep of the inner harbour first before we head back to Rose Bay. Nemesis clear.
Jeff, autopsy report on Janelle Buxton. She drowned somewhere between 2 and 6 a.m. She got intoxicated first. The blood alcohol level was a whopping 0.17.
She sexually assaulted?
No signs of assault, but she'd had sex recently. Chopper found semen from an O-positive secretor. This is her.
Oh, it's a pretty common blood group. She got a boyfriend?
No, fiancé.
Mixed mate? Dale Mills?
No, a bloke called Ian Bell.
Ian Bell. OK, ask him for a blood sample. What about this cut on the face?
Oh, it's a clean cut. Chop thinks it could have been caused by something sharp, metallic, a piece of jewellery, maybe.
Recent?
Oh, it's fresh, yeah. Someone hit her just before she died.
Right.
What's happening?
Oh, thanks, Helen. Nothing much at the moment. This camera's set up right at the front of the premises. I've seen everyone come and go. I've got times for their movements. Ian Bell was ejected from the premises at 2:32 a.m. Lisa Bell left at 3:07 a.m. I'm just waiting for the victim to appear.
What about your friend Dale?
No, I haven't seen him. I think he's still inside. Oh, look, there she is. Janelle Buxton, 3:34 a.m. What's she doing?
I'd be running away too.
And that's Ian Bell. That's her fiancé. He must have been waiting outside for her.
That does not look good.
No. It doesn't look good for Ian Bell at all, does it?
Right, you've seen the video evidence, Mr. Bell. Would you like to change your story?
I told you I can't remember much. I was pissed. Come on, Mr. Bell.
You admitted before that you were angry with her. And why not? I mean, here you are, defending her. And what does she do? She calls you a jealous dickhead. Leaves you high and dry. Maybe you didn't get rid of your anger, Mr. Bell. Maybe you waited for her, to have it out with her.
No, I just wanted her to come home.
Did he agree to a blood test?
Yeah. Had no problem with it. Results should be through soon.
Do you wear this often? The bracelet?
Pretty much.
Were you wearing it last night?
Yeah, what's that got to do with anything?
Janelle had a cut on her face, right? Somebody hit her, possibly someone with a sharp piece of jewellery.
No.
Come on, Mr. Bell! We all saw her hit you on the video. I bet you that got you angry. Got you into a rage. So then you took her down to the wharf, you hit her back, and you ripped her clothes off and then you pushed her into the water. Didn't you? Didn't you?
No. I wouldn't hurt her. I loved her. We were getting married. We were.
Sorry to interrupt. There's something you should know.
Yeah?
Yeah, guys, Chopper just rang with Ian Bell's blood sample. He's group B positive. That doesn't match the semen swab taken from the deceased.
So who did she have sex with then?
Well, I think that's your job to find out, Riley.
Sir, your wife...
Yeah, I'm on the case, Johnson. I'll give her a call now.
Better start with you, mate, eh?
No, don't go there, Jack.
Oh, come on, Mick. We saw him leave the club at 3:40am, right? That gives him half an hour with Janelle. That's plenty of time for them to go off and have a screw somewhere.
No, he wouldn't do that, Jack. Not with someone who's engaged.
Oh, come on, mate. What is the guy, a saint?
No, I just know the guy, Jack, OK? It's not his style.
This girl he sees having a blue with a fiancé, you fill in the gap.
No, the last one to see alive wasn't Dale. That guy in there was.
Yeah, you know what? I'm surprised you didn't haul him over the desk and slap a confession
We've
out
got
of
him on video. You can't argue with that.
But we didn't see him hit her, Mick. We didn't see him throw her in the water.
Yeah, but if you find out that your fiance's screwing someone else, that's a pretty good bloody motive.
But we don't know that, Mick. And until we do, you be keeping an open mind about it, right? Now, sit down. You give Lisa Bell a call, right? She claims to be a best mate of Janelle's. You can see she knows about her sex life, right? I'll have a word with Dale Mills. Just chill out. You know.
Yeah, found her.
You see that?
What?
I thought I saw somebody move on board. Take the wheel, Gavin, get us in close. I'm gonna take a look.
Stay there! Water police, you stay where you are! Stay where you are! Yeah, you better run!
Look, if this is about Ian, you've got him all wrong. I know him better than anyone.
Just take a seat for us, please, ma'am. Janelle Buxton had sex with someone before she died, and it wasn't your brother.
You guys think it's me, don't you?
Well, is it?
No, I'd never read another bloke's girlfriend.
What did you and Janelle talk about? Eh? What'd you do?
Nothing, we just talked.
Yeah? Bit of reminiscing.
Little?
Yeah. Stirred up a few old feelings, did it? Didn't whip into the toilet and give her a quick one, did you, for old time's sake?
No, it wasn't like that.
Did you see anyone coming onto Janelle at the club?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
What about the bloke your brother had a fight with?
It wasn't a fight, exactly. The guy was harmless. I mean, after a few drinks, Janelle would flirt with anyone. Couldn't help herself.
Well, that must have been hard on your brother.
Yeah.
Did he hit her?
No.
Like when he was pissed or when he was really angry?
Ian would never hit a woman.
Listen, mate, how about giving us a blood sample, right? So that'll discount you entirely.
I don't have to do that.
Mate, if you didn't do the deed, what's the problem?
I know I didn't do anything, okay? So I don't have to prove myself to you.
Did Janelle flirt with anyone in particular?
There was this one guy. Yeah.
Did she talk to him?
Yeah. Until I dragged her away. But they kept looking at each other. Caught them a few times.
Would you be able to describe this guy for us? Give us a face image? I mean, he could be the one we're looking for.
Sure. Whatever helps.
Bloody hell.
She thinks it's reward enough, Mr. Sledge.
Beer cans, cigarette butts. It's completely trashed. Just like the other times. You should have caught the little turds, or at least got a good look at them.
Can you tell me if you know of anybody who would want to do this to you, Mr. Sledge?
Well, if I knew that, I wouldn't be wasting my time with you lot, would I? Look, these hooligans have singled me out, and it's about time you people took some effective action.
Look, we've had a gutful as well. Senior Constable Sykes and myself will be making constant checks on your cruiser. We are determined to catch these kids.
Excuse my lack of confidence.
Hey, Dale, how'd you go?
Great, I love being interrogated.
Oh, look, don't worry about Jack. He can be a bit of a hard ass sometimes, but he's just doing his job, you know? You gonna be home tonight? Thought I'd come home for a few beers, have a bit of a chat.
Why, so you can catch me out in my story?
No, no need. I mean, once you have the blood test, it's gonna put it all to an end.
I refused the blood test.
You refused a blood test?
Yeah.
Why did you refuse a blood test, Dale?
You just don't get it, do you?
Look, it doesn't look very good, does it?
I shouldn't have to look good, not for you, Mick.
Why don't you just talk to me, darling? If you've got any problems, you know, we're old mates.
I've been talking to cops all day.
So is this the man that Lisa Bell described?
Yeah, I took another look at those security tabs, but I couldn't find a match.
All right. We'll take it over to the club. One of the staff might recognise him.
Looks a bit like you, Jeff. You know, he's a bit younger, a bit more butch, but oh.
What, do you think somebody would remember him then?
I just took a call from Janelle Buxton's bank. Apparently her credit card has been swallowed by an ATM on Liverpool Street.
They get a photo of the person who used it?
Uh-huh. Sergeant Blakemore's there right now.
All right, you two go. I'll organise somebody to take this over to the club.
Yeah, it could be our bloke. I mean. Looks nothing like him.
Looks like a Darrow.
His name's Flash Gordon.
Ah, king of the universe. Eh?
Not quite. He's got a string of arrests for indecent exposure. It's just very unfortunate that his first name is Gordon.
Oh, has he got any regular haunts?
He has. Cockle Bay.
Oh, yeah? Cockle Bay.
How'd you go, Jack?
Nothing there.
Got something here, boys.
Ah.
G'day, Gordon. Oh, Flash.
Oh, you don't see one of those every day.
And to think what I miss out on, I don't know.
She's a beauty.
Oh, here we go, here we go. Janelle.
All right, okay.
Cool. All right, let's go for a little excursion. Come on, Flash.
Oh, no. Let that bitch off, you
Righto.
Put it back in, Nick. Put it back in.
Come on, put that thing away, too.
Give him a hand with it, Nick. Yeah, we are on the back, lady.
So you found these items at the edge of the wharf at Cockle Bay?
Always heaps of stuff around there. All those tourist people.
When did you find them?
Sparrow's fart.
Did you see a young woman?
No woman. I don't remember a young woman.
Was there anything else left at the edge of the wharf?
We'll find out if you're lying.
There might have been that watch.
So you found this watch with the young woman's clothing? Hmm?
Just needs a rubber band to fix it up. It would be perfect. Do I get it back?
Jeff, I have just been on the phone to your
Don't you knock anymore?
Well, don't you answer your phone calls anymore. Gail had to phone me because you won't speak to her.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I'll call her.
Look, I know you two haven't been getting on too well lately, but what's happening now?
Oh, it's fine. Everything's all right.
Well, I think we can safely rule out Flash Gordon as a suspect.
Yeah, that's right. Just barge in, doors open.
He hates that.
Get on with it. What is it?
Right. Well, there's no history of violence. He just loves hanging his tackle out in front of pretty women.
Thank you, Jack.
It's just like Mick.
Yeah, he had all the victim's belongings except for the engagement ring. He claims he never saw one.
But he found this.
With the victim's clothes?
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah. Well, we think the victim had sex on the wharf. She left her clothes in a heap and Flash just came along and he found this.
Right. So the owner of the watch is the person that she had sex with?
Yeah, or the guy who hit her, or both.
I think Ian Bell's her first port of call. He was the last one to see her, and that watch could belong to him.
Right.
Evidence, do you want that? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
My brother's a wreck. He deserves any peace he can find. What do you want him for?
You recognise this?
I know this. Belongs to Dale Mills.
How can you be sure about that?
Well, the band's broken. I remember picking it up for him earlier in the night. It fell off and he put it in his pocket.
Gavin, isn't that Sledge's cruiser?
Yep, the one and only.
Is Sledge on board?
Hang on. No, but you wouldn't believe it. 2 kids.
Take the wheel, Gavin.
Like, what are you doing?
Get us in nice and close. I'm going to jump across.
What? You're nuts!
I am not letting them get away again. Get in closer!
I'm trying.
Come on! What a police!
you through! Come out!
Piss off, cop.
Now, we've dealt with the other boy, but it's clear that your son was the ringleader. This way, Mrs. Connolly. Have a seat.
I can't believe this, Nathan. How could you do such a thing? Look, he's not usually like this. He's always been a good boy.
Illegal use of a conveyance, driving while under the influence, driving with a reckless and dangerous manner, resisting arrest, assaulting police officer. Not the work of a good boy, Mrs. Connolly.
Is Nathan going to jail?
Not at the moment, but we will be charging him on summons.
So we have reason to believe that Nathan has stolen the cruiser before, Mrs. Connolly. 3 times, in fact.
That's crap.
Nathan!
I never took it before.
Right, so today was the first time you decided to take your friends for a joyride?
That's what I said.
Any reason in particular why you stole the runaway one?
Well, it seemed like a pretty good one to take, didn't it?
Oh, gosh. Oh, dear. Oh, I've been snooping, sorry.
Thought you could do better than that, Helen.
And you've been stalling. Divorce papers, you don't want to sign them. And that's why Gail's been calling me.
I don't think that's any of your business.
Well, sort of is my business when your wife...
Dale Mills owns the watch.
Spoken to him?
You're just heading over there now.
Your call, but I don't think I'd take Riley with you.
Yeah, read your mind.
Sorry.
You're not needed, Mick. You're too close.
Jack, I'm coming with you.
Hey, come on, give me a break.
Oh, come on, Jack. Look, this guy's one of my best mates. I've known him for a long time. Just let me come along, okay?
Okay, but I'm running this, right? You say nothing, you do nothing. I mean it, Mick.
What can I do for you blokes?
Let's get on with this, Mr. Mills. This look familiar to you?
Yeah, that's my watch.
Right, well, you recovered Janelle Buxton's belongings. This watch was amongst them. Do you want to tell us how it got there?
Well, it's got a busted band. It's always falling off. I suppose she picked it up for me.
Well, it's strange because Lisa Bell said the watch fell off earlier in the night. You put it in your pocket. So how come it fell out of there and ends up in Janelle Buxton's belongings? Come on, mate.
She said she really missed me. She was angry at Ian. So we kind of ended up together.
So you had sex with her?
Yes.
So you lied to us?
Look, things are pretty bad for Ian already. I didn't want to make it any worse.
Right, when did you have sex with her?
After Lisa left.
So you were inside the club, you weren't outside at all?
Yeah. We had sex in the girls' toilets. Must have fallen out of my pocket then. I snuck out before she did. I guess she picked it up for me.
So she didn't give this back to you?
We were supposed to meet at the bar, and she didn't turn up. I waited around for her, maybe feeling guilty.
Mary bastard! You raped her! You killed me!
Hey, drop it!
You bastard! You're bloody what? You're Stay in there! Please, put it down! What, it was him?
Stupid.
Asshole!
That's enough. What's the
You
right?
did! Look what the bastard did!
Don't worry about him. We'll fix it up later on, okay?
You're telling me what to do?
I'm just asking you to calm down, please, Dale.
Calm down? The guy thinks I killed her. Actually, you agree with him, don't you?
I'd like to know why you lied to me, Dale.
This isn't about me lying. This is about you actually thinking I'm a killer.
Why didn't you tell me the truth?
You believe it?
Why?
Don't you? You believe it?
Give me a reason not to.
Mick, I'm worried about your involvement, mate.
I'm aware of the facts.
Dale Mills, admitted to having sex with the victim?
In the toilet.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain how she ended up on the wharf without her clothes, and it doesn't explain who actually killed her.
Well, he'd have to be a pretty likely candidate.
Yeah, what about Ian Bell? What about the guy on the face image?
Well, doesn't seem to exist. No one at the club recognised him.
Well, our main problem is confirming people's movements from the time they left the club. That's.
What about cab drivers? Dale Mills and Ian Bell must have got home somehow.
Oh, come on, Jeff, how hard is that going to be?
Yeah. That's why detectives never wear new shoes.
Detective Michael Riley from the Sydney Water Police. Just wondering whether you might be able to... Have you seen this gentleman before?
Just tracking whereabouts, sir. There's two fellas here, mate. Would have been around here, so I don't know that fella there.
You seen this gentleman before? No? Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Jack Christie, Sydney Water Police, mate. We're just looking for whereabouts in this bloke. Would have been around here 2 nights ago.
Detective Michael Riley from Sydney Water Police. You seen this gentleman before?
Okay. Hey, Mick. Thanks a lot, buddy. Dale Mills, this bloke, he picked him up, took him over to North Ryde.
What time was this?
About 4 a.m, so that means... Thanks very much, mate. That means he was outside the club till roughly half an hour before he went home.
But that doesn't prove anything, Jack.
Yeah, but the cabbie said he was very distressed. His hair was wet. So that means he wasn't just near the water, Mick, he was in it. So your mate's been lying again.
Well, we won't know until we go and talk about this.
No, I'll be talking to him, mate. I don't want you involved.
What?
You're not seeing this clearly, Mick, all right? So you're out and that's it. Finished.
Listen, you owe me, Jack.
Owe you? What are you talking about?
Yeah, you owe me. I've covered for you. I could have gone to Hawker at any time, but I haven't.
And told him about what?
About the message that Axe Greville left on your answering machine. I could tell him how you took Charlie Driscoll to the power station.
What? Is this a threat, is it?
That's not.
No, I hope not, Mick, because you don't want to go there. You know what I mean? Owe you, owe me. Is that what we're about, is it?
No, it's not, Jack.
Well, I hope we're clear on that. Because the situation remains the same, right? You're off the case. But you've been informed of the new evidence against you, so let's revise history, shall we? And let's start at the time when you and Janelle were left alone at the club. And don't bullshit me.
We arranged to meet outside. She left first.
What happened when you got outside?
Well, I couldn't find her at first. I thought she'd done a runner on me. And then I found her and she was pretty upset.
Okay, what was she upset about?
Well, she said that Ian had been waiting for her, and he was pretty drunk.
Right, move along.
He got a bit nasty, but she managed to put him in a cab and send him home.
And what happened then?
Well, we just kept walking. We ended up at this wharf. That's what we did.
So you had sex on the wharf?
Yes.
Right, so how'd you end up in the water?
What do you think? Look, after we got out of the water, she suddenly got really guilty, and she told me to forget about it, forget it ever happened, and, you know, she just wanted me to go home.
Oh. And I bet you loved that.
Well, I could understand.
Did you hit her, Mr. Mills?
No.
You lying to us, Mr. Mills?
Look, I only lied about the sex because I know what you guys would think.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I know what cops are like. Janelle was alive when I left her, and that's the truth.
VKG Sydney Water Police to police launch Nemesis.
Nemesis, bye.
I just took a call from Malcolm Sledge.
I hope you sounded grateful.
Actually, no, he's got a bit of a request.
You want the charges dropped?
That's right. I believe you've met Eloise Connolly. We're getting married next month.
Things haven't been easy between Nathan and me. Not since I met Malcolm and decided to remarry. That's why I asked him to drop the complaint.
If you don't mind, we'd like to speak to Nathan again.
Well, why? The complaint's been dropped.
He's been wasting our time, Mrs. Connolly.
Helen, is Jack going to charge him?
Mick, why don't you take some time off? Bow out of this one, eh?
Is he going to charge him?
He's admitted to being with the victim on the wharf.
Yeah, but he denied killing her.
His story keeps changing every 5 minutes. We might get there yet. Mick, come on, look at the evidence. What would you do? Come on. What would you do? That's right. Listen, Jeff...
Bit late for an apology, I think, Helen.
Nathan, what you did was wrong. But you know that, don't you?
You wasted our time, and I doubt very much whether you solved any of your problems.
He deserved it. He's a dickhead.
So why steal his cruiser?
Give me something to do. He was always going off somewhere, taking me mum with him.
So where'd you go?
Around, mainly Darling Harbour, Cockle Bay.
Cockle Bay? Yeah. Were you there 2 nights ago?
Yeah, I was there.
If you contributed to the death of Janelle Buxton in any way, you'd be wise to tell us now.
Mick, I've got something I think you might want to hear.
Last chance, Mr. Mills, before we charge you with her murder.
I already told you. Janelle was alive when I left her.
We were just cruising out of Cockle Bay and saw these two going out in the water.
A man and a woman?
Yeah. Started yelling out, you know, cheering them on. They didn't hear me, but...
And what happened next?
Well, they both got out of the water. And the bloke, he put his jocks on and got out of there quick smart.
So the guy left the woman on the wharf?
Yeah.
And the woman?
She was putting her clothes on, and this other chick come up to her and they started a scrag fight, you know.
And then what happened?
I don't know, mate. We were just cruising past. They were still yelling and stuff when we left.
This woman that came up and started the scrag fight, can you describe her for us?
I couldn't see her face. She was blonde, but she had this tight red dress on.
That's all?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Nathan.
We're going home. What do you want me for?
Well, we have a witness who saw you fighting with Janelle down at the wharf.
What's going on? Maybe you should ask your sister.
Please? Lisa?
I'm so sorry, Emma.
Why?
I only saw her by chance. Her hair was wet. She was getting dressed. I knew she'd been screwing someone.
And then you confronted her?
She promised me that Ian was different, that she really loved him, that she wouldn't hurt him. I was so mad. Started yelling at her.
Janelle, you little slut! You did it again, didn't you? What? You know. You screwed me again, didn't you? Didn't you?
And then I saw her engagement ring lying on her clothes. So I picked it up.
What's doing here, huh? Get back! Get back! That's mine! Anyway, why did you get back?
And then I slapped her in the face with it and pushed her in the water. And she came up. Yeah, she was coughing and struggling. I felt bad then, so I offered to help her out.
I'm sorry, Janelle. I'm sorry. Come on. Come on! Back off!
And she called me a bitch. Told me to piss off.
Come on! Come on! You stupid bitch!
So I just walked away. Took the ring with me. I thought she was all right. I didn't know she'd drowned. Not until you came and told us the next morning.
Why didn't you tell us then?
My brother loved Janelle, and I left her to drown. I couldn't tell him that.
Girl, Hi, it's me. I'm finally calling you not in. I've signed the divorce papers and I'll put them in the post tomorrow. So I guess I'll see you soon.
Hey, Dale. How'd you go in there?
Yeah, I made him drag out the apology.
I wish you'd talked to me a lot earlier about a few things. Would have saved a lot of grief.
You think I didn't want to? Didn't try? My God, Mick, that morning when you came to my place, I wanted to tell you everything. But you cut me off. You're so bloody official. When was the last time you saw Janelle Buxton? I mean,
yeah, well, we just found a dead body.
Yeah, the dead body of my ex-girlfriend. Someone you knew.
Okay, it's procedure. It's just my job.
Yeah, it's your job. And it's you.
No, that's where you're wrong, Dale. You see, me and work were separate.
That certainly doesn't look like it, does it, Mick?
I mean, what's the big deal, mate?
Just leave it.
Just leave it.